Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining today. My name is Ed Coveney. I'm a technical sales consultant here at MGISS. Just some housekeeping before we start. Um, we're not expecting a fire alarm in the office today, so if it does go off, I will have to treat that as serious. And the Q&A at the end of the webinar, there should be a button at the bottom of your screens where you can click and type in questions at any point during the webinar, and we'll answer those at the end. So today we're going to look at how Sheffield City Council has transformed its approach to managing public rights of way through the adoption of the Skadi 100 GNSS receiver. We will walk through the technology, the partnership behind it, and how it integrates seamlessly with their GIS workflows. I was hoping to be joined today by Gavin Brooksbank, a senior engineer at Sheffield City Council, but unfortunately Gavin wasn't able to join today. But we will still hear from Gavin, who will share his real-world experience in some pre-recorded clips towards the back of the webinar. So, who are MGISS? So very briefly, for those who may not already know us, MGISS is a specialist geospatial solutions provider. We focus on three core areas of GIS: enterprise GIS strategy, development and implementation, field mobility and GIS data capture solutions, and high accuracy GNSS hardware and the integration of that hardware into mobile GIS. Our role is not simply to supply just technology. We do see ourselves as a partner and not just a reseller into the GIS sector. By being a partner, we can ensure that what we provide works effectively within existing or new GIS workflows. We work predominantly with local authorities, utility companies, infrastructure providers, and environmental teams. Moving on to the focus of the webinar, when organizations look to implement high accuracy GNSS within a mobile GIS workflow, the technology they choose plays a massively important part of the overall success. For external GNSS receivers, MGISS is very proud to work closely with our partner EOS Positioning Systems, the manufacturer of the Skadi GNSS series, and in particular the Skadi 100. EOS are global leaders in high accuracy GNSS receivers designed specifically for GIS data collection. Their equipment is not intended to be complex or isolated survey instruments, but rather tools that enable GIS teams to capture highly accurate spatial data. MGISS is the exclusive distributor of EOS GNSS solutions across the UK and Ireland, which allows us to provide much more than simply supplying the hardware. The partnership allows us to offer dedicated UK-based support, technical configuration and integration assistance, and any ongoing onboarding, training or repair services when required. The Skadi series of receivers is the latest in GNSS from EOS and was released in the UK about this time last year. It has been great to hear about how the new technology is being implemented by organisations, and obviously we're excited to show you just one of those use cases today with Sheffield City Council, but there are many more that have been a great success since the launch of the new product. I am conscious that some people might not exactly know what we mean when we're talking about external GNSS, and it is worth briefly considering why it's also a very important aspect of mobile GIS. So many organizations still rely on internal GPS chips found within standard tablets or mobile devices. So internal GPS typically provides accuracy in the range of 3 to 5 meters. And the performance of this can degrade even further in areas with tree cover or urban areas. Now, while that level of accuracy is suitable for most basic mapping tasks or tasks in day-to-day life, such as driving, when it comes to GIS asset management, external GNSS receivers can significantly improve the positional accuracy while still allowing you to use the off-the-shelf mobile phone technology that your organization may already have. It also then enables your organizations to capture far more reliable spatial data than using the internal GPS. It is worth clarifying that they do sit as completely separate hardware to the phone or tablet, and they connect purely via Bluetooth. So there's no cables. So that brings us on to the Skadi 100, which is obviously the successor to the widely used Arrow 100 receiver, also from EOS. So I'm hoping many of you on the call will have some familiarity with the Arrow. The Skadi 100 builds on that proven platform, bringing improved performance and reliability for the GIS field data collection. It has been designed specifically with GIS workflows in mind, making it straightforward for teams to integrate into their existing mobile applications. In terms of performance, the Skadi 100 delivers an SBAS accuracy in the range of 30 to 60 centimeters. So that's a massive improvement to the internal GPS. And for many GIS data collection tasks, this level of accuracy provides the precision required without any of the additional complexity of going into survey grade equipment or workflows. The device is also designed with field usability in mind. So as you can see in the picture there is only actually two buttons on the Skadi 100, the on and off button and the battery detection button. So it's very, very simple to use. It has a battery life of about 13 hours. So it means it will comfortably support a full day of data collection without needing to recharge. It's also waterproof to an IP67 standard. So it's very ruggedized for field usage. The receiver is also fully compatible with iOS, Android, and Windows devices, allowing organizations to continue using the tablet or smartphones they already deploy in the field. It also pairs seamlessly with common ArcGIS mobile applications, including the likes of field maps, Survey 123, Quick Capture. We will hear shortly from Gavin and his team about how they make use of the Skadi and Esri Quick Capture. But I also want to make quite clear that it's not limited to just Esri data collection apps. If you use open source, so QField, or any industry-specific app, as long as it has an element of spatial data collection, then the Skadi can then work seamlessly with that workflow. This flexibility makes the Skadi 100 well suited to a wide range of GIS activities, including public rights-of-way surveys, highway asset mapping, utility data capture, and environmental monitoring, as well as much, much more, or even if it's just general GIS asset management as well. There are various setup options available, enabling organizations to configure the receiver in a way that best supports their field operations. The standard handle, which you can see again in the picture on the right-hand side, is what comes as standard with the Skadi 100, but there are other options available. So here you can see the standard use. On the left-hand side, we're using the standard handle with a tablet connector. And then on the right-hand side, you're seeing the standard handle with the mobile phone attachment there as well. So they both come as standard. The tablet holder and the phone holder come as standard. So whatever you're using, it will work with the standard handle. The Skadi receiver is actually the part that sits on top. But if you do switch modes, you can take the battery out at the bottom and the actual receiver will stay on charge for a good 5 minutes when you're switching modes. So you can have it here in the standard handle, and then you might decide to move it to a pole or a backpack. And I'll just bring up that image on the left, where you take the Skadi 100, take the battery out of the handle, slot it into the top of the Skadi. Then you can just attach the Skadi to the pole or backpack. So here in this image, we're seeing a backpack, but on the pole, it will also just thread onto a standard survey, 2-meter survey pole as well. So whatever configuration you have for your field data collection, whatever's suitable to your organization, Skadi can switch seamlessly between all. So that's my introduction of the Skadi. I obviously want to allow time to have Gavin and his team talk through the use case. So without much further ado, I will play the pre-recorded clips of Gavin explaining how he's using the Skadi.
Okay, so I'm Gavin Brooksbank. I'm the senior engineer with Sheffield City Council's Public Rights of Way team. Been with the council for a while, but I used to work in highways. And when I came into the Public Rights of Way team, probably about 3 years ago, it became quite apparent that our records and our mapping weren't really up to scratch and up to date. We've been looking for a while to sort that out, really, to make that better. And one of the big reasons is for us to be able to access more funding. We get a certain budget for the year, but it's quite small. But there are other areas where we can access bits of funding. But to do that, we need data. The last time we'd had any kind of asset survey done was over 15 years ago. That was all done manually. I think it was before we were really using any sort of GIS. All of our paths, or the legal route of the paths, we had a data set with all those paths on, but we didn't really have any data that showed what our assets and liabilities were on those routes, and if those routes were still available. You know, speaking to people higher up and saying, look, this is what we really need to do this to get ourselves that base level of data. So then, it just then I started doing research into how we could feasibly get that done on not a massive budget. We don't get just a big pot of money at the beginning of the year to say, okay, yeah, you do with that how you see fit. It is a case of grabbing bits where you can, but you have got to have the data to go and ask for that. The actual routes are set in law. We did an exercise with that. So every footpath, bridle way, byway, they're all on the definitive map. That shows itself in various formats at the moment, because there should be one document that we hold in the council, the definitive map, but things happen to it. There are orders, diversion orders that we do. Some paths get closed, some paths get created. So what you end up with is a definitive map and then a big stack of legal orders. Ideally, you should be doing every sort of 5 to 10 years, you should be doing a consolidation exercise that creates a new version. My initial thoughts were, we really need to get a handle on what we've got, assets and liabilities. So we did a data cleansing exercise first to just check our data set, which shows all the paths, double check those against the legal orders and the definitive map to make sure our digital copy was correct. A really important thing, to be honest, one of the key things that the people upstairs wanted us to get a handle on is our structures. We have quite a lot of bridges on the network, but not knowing where all of our bridges, how many bridges we have, where they all are, leaves us in a bit of a tricky situation for drawing up maintenance regimes and therefore legal liability if something happens on that structure. We did try and start doing some surveying without the Skadi. That was slow going and the data was off. I was spending a lot of time correcting data, going out, recording stuff, coming back, looking at the data and then going, nah, that's that's way off. That's not where I was stood, and that's not where that track goes. And having to manually, move things around. There's a lot of issues with the quality of the data we were getting from that. So got talking to someone from MGISS talking about the Skadi devices, and thought, so yeah, we've got people out and about now, and yeah, so data's coming in most days, and yeah, the quality and accuracy of the data is spot on for what we need, to be honest. Because there's only a team of three of us, but there's only me who works with GIS data. So we managed to rope in some junior technicians from other bits of the council to help out. So what we needed, something simple, basically. The first thing I looked at, I thought, we've not got the time or resource to be training people up in various systems and stuff like that. And then when it came to looking at the Skadi, again, the fact that you can use that with any of your any of the software. And you don't really need to do anything. It's literally turn it on, link it, and leave it. That's it. So that was the real thing that attracted me to that, as opposed to some of the other things I've been looking at, that come with their own screens and their own software. It was the fact that, it's really flexible and really simple. So I know I can give these to, I can do an hour's training with people, and then say, okay, off you go. The difference for us has been twofold, really. I would say the accuracy and quality of the data has meant I spend less time having to double check data and manipulate it because it's coming in correct first time. And the ease of use has meant that we can get other staff members who don't necessarily work in this field out using the devices, because they don't need any big training sessions or anything like that. Coming from a background of dealing with data and stuff, it's quite exciting for me. So I can see it all, and I can see where everyone's been and all the assets that are getting put in, and it's slowly filling up. Yeah, so it's great. And like I say, a big thing for me is just to be able to now, in meetings, when I go to meetings and people higher up, especially council, the politicians as well, are saying, well, what do you need? What is everything going okay? I can actually say to them, well, actually, I've got 10,000 kilometers of gravel track that could do with resurfacing, and I know that because I've surveyed it.
Massive thanks to Gavin there for sharing his experience with us today. It's really exciting for us to hear a success story. It's been particularly eye-opening for me to hear about how accurate GIS data isn't just about improving asset management, but also for the team, the public rights of way team, to go after more internal funding. It's been really interesting to hear how important that process has been to Gavin and his team. Just to start wrapping up a little bit, I just wanted to highlight one more time on the right-hand side of your screen what additional services MGISS offers alongside the Skadi 100 and what's helped Gavin and his team to really get the most of the equipment. So we do have training alongside, and that can be a training of staff or training of the trainer. But it can be 1 or 2 hour online sessions, or it can be a full on-site training day if that's what the requirement is. But again, linking that back to Gavin's story a little bit there, it's about, if you can just do 1 hour just do 2 hours and then replay that with other new potential people coming in to do GIS collection, then it's very simple to get people up and running very quickly. We do offer year-round support as well, which gives access to our email and phone lines to go over any technical issues that might be occurring. And then lastly on that list is warranty. So it should be noted that EOS products do come with a 2-year standard warranty, but if you want peace of mind, you can purchase additional years as well on top of that. Just to wrap up as well, I just wanted to close to very quickly mention an offer that MGISS is running in the month of March. If you are looking to purchase an EOS GNSS receiver, the Skadi 100 or any of its sister products through MGISS, and you have an existing older GPS or GNSS hardware from any make or manufacturer, and you think you would like to trade that in, then we are doing an offer where we can give value on that equipment that comes back to us. So don't worry if it's not in a used or if it is in a used or very used condition. As long as it turns on and it functions, we should be able to accept that and give a discount to any of the EOS receivers. And then if you are looking for info on pricing or any additional information on that trade deal or the other deals that we have currently running for discounts, please just email either myself or the MGISS email address on the left-hand side there, and we will be more than happy to reply. And the last thing to note as well is that in the coming months, EOS and MGISS, both of us, will be present at the ESRI UK AC, that's in May, and also GeoBusiness in June. So if you're at either of those events and you'd like to come and discuss with us, by all means, please do come and say hello at either of those events. There will be a recording of this webinar as well that will be sent out at the end of it. So if you do want to replay it back at any time, you can do so. And I think that just leaves about sort of 5 minutes really just to go through any Q&As that anybody might have. So I will just bring up very quickly the Q&A section and just see if anybody has asked some questions, just to put that in. And there are a few. I will also give you obviously a couple minutes just to type yours in now if you do have any questions. But I can see the first one is a question around the weight of the Skadi. I'm guessing that's probably on the smart handle, but I can potentially give, if I've got my facts here, some answers to that. So the weight of the Skadi itself is about 580 grams with the battery inside. And then when you use it with the smart handle, that is still under a kilogram. It's still only about 930 grams, I believe. So that's the two weights, and it will be depending on how you're configuring that, the weight will sit. There is one other question about constellations or satellite, the number of satellites as well that the Skadi will work with. So when we're talking about GPS constellations, we're talking about not just GPS satellites, so the American-based constellation. It will also work with the Galileo, GLONASS, and Beidou satellites that are also. So typically now that's well over 100 satellites that it will have access to when trying to calculate a position. So I think that is covering that question in terms of the constellations. Just give everyone a couple more minutes if there's any other questions. Had nothing come through just yet. So if that is about it, hopefully everyone's found that particularly useful. And like I said, we'll follow up with an email. But thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.